All right, people. Last episode this week, number 85. In this one, we got another subscriber request. In this one, we're talking about how to become a true brand rather than just another product. This is a question. I believe this might be John McKnight. I believe is who put this in there. I think this might be his first contribution to the episode ideas. So appreciate you for that, John. Maybe we'll see you again next week. This was a good idea. I'm sure he might have a few more. So we love to see it. He said, I think this could be a good question to be answered in a knowledge drop. Once your store is consistently profitable, what needs to be done on the back end of the business to ensure initial brand growth and long-term potential? Referring to things like how to handle customer service, hire VAs, email/SMS marketing, increasing lifetime customer value, optimizing SEO, and expanding more than just Facebook, such as Google and Amazon, how to get specific branded packaging and what to put on inserts. In general, how to become a true brand rather than just another product. Great question. Great question, Mr. John. He listed a lot of things here for like, how do you do that? And I kind of almost feel like he answered his own question in a lot of ways here. But of course, me and the Scott, man, we got some takes on these things. So, Scotty, let's start with you, man. What do you think? How do you become a true brand rather than just another product?
All the things he said are good ideas, things you should be doing. True brand instead of just a product. I think the key factor there is you're getting traffic and sales from outside of Facebook ads or from outside whatever your main source of traffic is. You're getting referral sales, you're getting maybe affiliate sales, you're getting sales from different sources. There are certain products that are going to be instantly, like whatever you do, however bad everything that you do is, they're just instantly kind of have like brand-like properties because they're consumable. So if you've got a consumable product and people come back and reorder, there's kind of a snowball effect there where every time you acquire a customer, that's not just a sale today, but it's potentially a sale, or on average, it's another sale 20% of the time, 3 months down the line. So that's a great way to like instantly kind of have a brand where people just keep coming back.
Yeah.
There needs
I think that's
some sort of a way for people, some sort of a way and some sort of a reason for people to come back. Sometimes that's hard, especially if you have a product where it solves a clear need and there isn't necessarily a need for another of the same thing, or just because people want this one thing doesn't mean they'll want something else from you. So in some cases it can be hard, but I would say in just about all cases, if you do things right, you can diversify from Facebook and get to a stage where even if Facebook ads are off, you're still making a good number of sales and still very profitable through Google Ads, Amazon, SEO, word of mouth, affiliates, etc.
Mm-hmm. I would say the number one thing that separates, a true brand from just another product or just another store is the customer experience. If your customers have a great experience with you, and this kind of goes hand in hand with what you're just saying, Scotty, about like, are people coming back and buying from you again? I think that's really like kind of the mark of a true brand is your customers aren't just one off, like you show them an ad and then they impulse buy and then, they never interact with your brand again. A true brand is like you have customers who buy from you multiple times, who are kind of like fanatics about what you sell. They have had an absolutely fantastic experience with you. And because of that, they're going to come back and buy again. They're going to tell their friends about it. That's going to really help you build up your presence organically through word of mouth. I think that's kind of like the biggest thing. Diversifying traffic sources is definitely a big one. There's a lot of things that go into kind of, for me, the North Star is the customer experience. Like that's the thing that really separates a true brand from just another product. There's a lot of things that go into that. I think probably in terms of e-commerce and dropshipping, the most important one of those is fulfilling your orders from the US. Or if you're, this is assuming that most of your customers are in the US. But basically having decent shipping times, having decent packaging, just an overall solid experience. Like Amazon is literally the biggest company in the entire world. Maybe behind Apple, but it's basically the biggest company in the entire world. How do they get there? Their number one thing is just providing an incredible experience. They somehow made it possible to give you 2-day shipping. That was unheard of before Amazon.
No, it's with a bunch of near slave labor.
Yeah. I mean, how they're doing it, I'm not sure, but they're doing it, and they provide an absolutely incredible customer experience, and that's why they're the biggest. There's e-commerce as an entire industry, and they own 50% of that entire industry. There's a reason for that, and I think that really just comes down to the customer experience. And I think focusing on that, like for me, that was kind of the biggest shift when we kind of went from just building stores to building brands. That was the thing that I was really, really focused on. That was the thing that I really saw as like the differentiating factor. It's not just, throwing up a store, getting ads up and being profitable. It's all of that. And then also making sure that your orders are fulfilled within, 24 hours, making sure that they get to your customers within a week, making sure that the packaging is decent. It doesn't have a bunch of Chinese writing on it and smell like absolute ass because it's from some weird factory in China. All of these things that really contribute to making your customers actually have a good experience, so that they're actually going to leave a positive review and have good things to say about you. I think that's kind of the biggest difference. And there's a lot of different ways that kind of manifests itself. But to me, that's the most important part of it.
100%. Stuff like branded packaging that you mentioned, inserts, that goes into it, but those are important, but they're kind of details. The big thing, especially if you're starting out for shipping from China, it's just going to be getting product to the US. Like it does not matter what your packaging looks like or what's on your inserts if you're still shipping from China. USA shipping is sometimes a pain in the ass, sometimes more expensive, but it's such a huge improvement that if you want to run this long term successfully, it's kind of a must.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I would agree 100%. And then I think the other really big thing that just came to mind in terms of like the difference between a real brand and just another product, just another store, is the kind of mindset shift from how much money can I make today, to just like kind of focusing on increasing profit right away versus how can I improve this business in every aspect possible on a long time scale. That mindset of constant improvement is the thing that I think really prevents stores from dying, prevents entire, businesses from dying, because that's kind of, the reality of drop shipping, of a lot of e-commerce stuff, is it works for a little while and then all of a sudden it doesn't. And then you're back to square one. We don't want to be doing that. If we're building a business, we want it to last for years. We don't want to build a new business every 6 months. So the thing that helps you do that is just by constantly improving what you're doing and constantly be thinking about, okay, so we're doing all these things. How can I just make this a little bit better? And if you do that, if you just make things a little bit better month over month, I think that's another absolutely huge factor in the difference between, just a random dropshipping store that some 17-year-old is running versus like a real actual business, a real brand that someone who's somewhat intelligent is running.
Yeah. I think at times the whole build a brand rather than a store thing is just a marketing angle, kind of used by gurus.
Yeah.
There are definitely differences, but if you can run a long-term successful store, do you really care that it's not a brand? Like the difference is not that big. The term brand is just often used to differentiate yourself from shitty dropshippers. So I would not worry too much about, what I'm building is not a brand, especially when you're getting started, because the most important thing when you're getting started is getting sales. And a lot of people that set out to build a brand, I feel like set out to build something cool instead of setting out to get sales. And getting sales is a lot more important than that your thing is cool.
Yeah, cool doesn't pay the bills, man. You can't pay the bills with cool points. You can't buy that fast car with cool points. Sales though, you can buy it with sales. Now, before we end this episode, I want to get into some of the more specific things that John was talking about here in terms of like how to do these things, because I think that's probably what he was kind of looking for. And I feel like what we've talked about at this point is really like the main things that are important. But I want to get into a little more specifics to maybe satisfy the more specifics of this question. Referring like to things like how to handle customer service.
Okay,
How
let's
your
go through them one by one. How to
Say-
handle customer service, hire someone, oversee them very closely to start, make sure they know how to do their job, be generous in refunds and returns, and over time just do occasional check-ins with your team. Make sure they contact you if they don't know how to handle something. Make sure they handle most things by themselves though. How to hire VAs.
I got a video on my YouTube channel all about it.
There you go.
How to hire
Email.
VAs, something like that. It's just look up VAs. It's on there.
Email
Great.
SMS.
I mean, honestly, probably one of the most valuable videos on my channel. It's also probably one of the least viewed videos on my channel. But that is how that goes sometimes.
Well, it's not applicable to most people watching YouTube videos.
Yeah.
Email SMS marketing. I think step one is just doing it and doing it consistently. And then step two is trying to optimize that. For us, broadcasts, so like one-off emails have been a lot more important than campaign email, or rather than like automatic emails.
The flows.
Yeah. So that's been big for us. Just occasionally sending out an email. Send out an email when you have a new product drop. Send out an email when product's back in stock. Send out an email just to stay on top of people's minds with some interesting content. Just doing email marketing is huge.
I'd agree with that. We don't really do a whole lot with SMS marketing, do we?
We have like abandoned cart stuff set up, but that's about it. I think we have abandoned carts stuff set up.
Yeah, I feel like that's something that people like get real up in arms about and are like really focused on and just like, oh my god, this is the new thing, or like this is like a hack, something like that's chill out, bro.
Yeah, those ROI statistics are super sexy in the app, but they don't really translate to the bottom line because it's such a low amount of spend.
Yeah. Increasing lifetime value of your customers. I mean, that's kind of done through email marketing, I would say. That's a great way to do that, is to get people to come back and buy more through email. Just trying to, add more upsells, cross sells, figuring out things that along with your main product that people might want to buy as well, and offering that to them for sale. Just, I mean, basically trying to get people to order more stuff when they do order, and then just offering people who have already bought from you more chances to buy from you. That's pretty straightforward, I think.
But you need a good experience in the first time round. So you need US shipping, you need maybe nice packaging or whatever, a good product. You need a good experience on the front end or in the first order, and then you need an actual reason for people to order again. I think that's what a lot of people are missing. Perhaps even that's what we're missing. An actual reason why would they order from you again?
Mayhaps that is something to think about.
Optimizing SEO. Unless SEO is your background, I would not focus all that much on SEO. I do have some sort of a background in SEO, and I don't think it's all that valuable for ecom unless your entire business was built around it. Unless you, when doing product research, were thinking about the keywords and looking at the keywords and all that, I don't think SEO is necessarily the route. But yeah, there's definitely things you can do there. Not one I would think about all too early. I would look at Google Ads, YouTube Ads, and Amazon way earlier than I'd look at SEO.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that's probably good advice. And then expanding more just Facebook. I mean, I think Google Ads is probably the thing that makes the most sense to do first outside of Facebook. Once you've been kind of established on Facebook, get some Google Ads up, get some. I mean, retargeting is just that's kind of like a no-brainer. And then you can do some Google Shopping stuff as well. Amazon, also another avenue that we've recently started selling on, and I guess it was going pretty well until recently. Been having some issues with the whole system there. But I mean, I think when it comes to expanding outside of Facebook, it does depend on what you're selling. If you're selling a product that is like a kind of like trendy product for people that are younger, maybe it would make sense to expand to TikTok or Snapchat before you expand to Amazon. But there's a lot of different sales channels out there, and I think it kind of you just got to pick what you think makes the most sense for whatever you're doing. For us, Google, Amazon, Snapchat now. There's a lot of different avenues for sure. Specific branded packaging and what to put on inserts. I mean, that's just not something that you really need to overthink. We have our own shipping packaging that just has like our brand's logo on it, and it's it looks kind of nice. It's not anything that crazy. Inserts. I think I just threw the insert away. I had one in my closet, but I was just cleaning that out, and I think I threw it away. But I think our insert just has it's just like a thank you note on it, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
It's like, thanks for your order. If you have any issues, email me. Blah blah blah.
I think one big part of having a true brand that he didn't mention was having a good name and a good logo.
Yeah.
With design, colors, and all that.
Yeah. I suppose that does play into it. I don't know if we necessarily have the best name.
I think it's pretty fucking good.
That certainly works. It certainly works. Yeah, I mean, I think you got to think about the kind of like branding aspects specifically as well. The colors, the messaging, the design, the logo, things like that. Those are, I mean, it's important. I wouldn't say that it's not important. I don't think that stuff's important when you're just trying to make sales for starting out. But when you are trying to become a true brand, those things definitely do become more important. And I think ultimately, like, besides all that, it comes down to just building something that people resonate with. If it's something that people really enjoy and resonate with, I mean, there's tons of brands that, I'm sure you can probably think of, everyone listening to this can probably think of, that they resonate with, that they really like, that they bought from multiple times, and that they just, identify with. And I think that's kind of what you're going for. When you're building a brand, you're trying to build something that people are like, dude, I love this. Like, this is actually really cool. I can get behind this. This is something that I'm proud to buy, to use, to wear, whatever it is. And, I think you do that through all of these different ways that we've just been talking about in this episode.
Yep. Is that it? Or do you have more thoughts?
I think that's about it, man. I think that's about, excuse me. I think that's about it. Yeah, I mean, it's not anything like too crazy. It's just it's a focus on improving the business. It's a focus on making sure that your customer experience is top notch, and just doing things the right way. And having I think another part that we haven't really talked a whole lot about is having a longer term outlook. Working on a time span of years instead of months, I think, is also a pretty important thing when it comes to building a brand.
Yeah. Tough when you're worried about your business imploding at any given time.
Yeah. Well, at that stage, maybe you shouldn't be thinking about trying to build a brand.
Maybe.
Well, I think that's about all I had. You got anything else to add here, Sketchman?
I do not. I think we are ready to wrap it up.
All right, folks. This has been how long was your interview with Cowboy?
I think about an hour and a half, maybe.
Wow. So we're gonna have a lot of content. This is a lot of freaking content for you guys. Y'all are welcome. About 2.5 hours of content this week. That's a bit more than the promised 1 hour. But we're just men of the people, here to serve. So hope you guys enjoyed this week. As always, if you, like Alex Godolph and John McKnight, would like to contribute ideas for us to talk about on the Ecom Dispensary in the next knowledge drop, please let us know in Telegram. We'll shout you out. Maybe we have a secret little club. I don't know. Maybe there's a secret club that some people are in, that when they contribute a lot, they get put in the secret club. I don't know if this is a thing or not, but maybe it is, maybe it's not. But there's only one way to find out. So Yeah, let us know what you're thinking. And yeah, I think that's about it. I think that's about it, folks. Have a great rest of your weekend, week, day, night, morning, late afternoon, whatever time it is that you're listening to this. Make it a good one. Make it a good one. We'll talk to you guys next week.
Peace.